right, just to confirm if the sound is on. A breakfast show. It is a special edition on Monday Youth Day. You're asking yourself what is going on right now. To be a special edition stream whereby we just cover the youth means to us as young people, and you know that young people have been part of this journey since from 1976. We're going to be comparing the youth of 1976 and 2025. So we are looking into getting deep in the conversation. Man, it is that energetic start to your day. I'm accompanied with that daily dose of positivity. My name is Vooka Academy, and I am happy to be with you in this morning. Of course, I am not alone.
Yeah, no, he is never alone. He has obviously got the whole might of the Vooka team behind him, including myself, your prime cut creative and positivity dose of the day. Umamshengu omuhle, indlovukazi yagwantu ngithi kunina bayede at home, Vooka Nation. What is your youth day morning looking like? Because guess what? This is how ours is looking like.
Yeah.
We are outside, we're out and about on the streets of Soweto, the place where the Soweto uprising happened. Of course, not this specific spot, no, but because we're obviously in Dobsonville, also known as what Amusi loves to call Dob Santon. So it's an amazing day, a cold morning, but don't worry, we're gonna get you fired up with, of course, the energetic start to your day. And I hope you're ready, Vooka Nation, because you know what? The special edition Youth Day broadcast is going to come live and hot to you wherever you are.
Yes, of course, man. You see, man, we are wearing warmer and making sure that keeping warmer is a part of our daily routine because it's cold. It is June. And when it comes to June, we're celebrating a lot of people as we have stated. So there are a lot of things we're going to be sharing with you. And we also want you to share your experiences with us in terms of celebrating the youth. And we know that in South Africa, from 18 years up until 35 years, if I'm not considered a young person. So if you are between those ages and there's something significant that you have done with your life, do make sure that you share it with us. Connect with us on our social media platform. The special edition, we are only streaming live right now on YouTube. So use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show and let's get this engagement going, man. Also, man, you can look into calling us or sending us your voice note. We will hear it right here on the street. And the number to do that is 060 493 3226. 060 493 3226. So, of course, man, I am ready to get into what we have for today. But I just want to ask you, man, in terms of this day, what do you think and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I mean, it's the 49th commemoration. So today marks the 49th commemoration of Youth Day. And I'm looking forward to hearing on the streets from the youth what this day truly means to them. And of course, the struggles that they face as opposed to, the youth of 76. And of course, what they would love to see happening in the country when it comes to empowerment, employment, anything to do with their daily lives and how they face everyday challenges, making them their own, living in a completely different society, South Africa. So of course, you know what?
Absorb as much as information they can, because they say if you absorb information, you're going to create transformation.
Amen, man. Mo, I love that one. I love that one.
Yeah.
And of course, you know what? One of the most significant historical heritage sites right here in Soweto is one and only Hector Peterson Museum. And of course, we cannot talk about this day and South Africa's history without mentioning the Hector Peterson Museum, right? It's not just a museum, it's an emotional journey through one of the most powerful moments in our struggle for freedom as the youth. And of course, it's right here in the heart. It just steps away from the very place that changed the course of our nation. And if you haven't been yet, make a plan, Vooka Nation. Go walk, take the path and hear the stories and honor the youth who stood up for justice. And it's a must visit for anyone who wants to understand the soul of South Africa and what this day means. And with that being said, just don't worry, man. Stay tuned because we have so much more just for you, Vooka Nation.
Yeah, man, you can't talk about South Africa's history without mentioning the Hector Peterson Memorial Museum, because we know a lot of things happened there. But I think one of the things that we need to speak about is setting good memories for ourselves.
True.
We know that the youth of 1976, the oppression, they fought things that they did not agree with. So some of those things is what we as the youth, we are trying to bring about. Yes, when it comes to changes, is what is it that we are trying to implement in our communities, right? What is it that we are trying to remember in the next 10 years? When you look at the youth of 2025, the difference that they have made from the youth of 1976, I think, making good memories so that we can always remember them in the future is something we should always be looking towards at. So many activities that we're going to be speaking about and sharing with you right here on the Vooka. All you need to do is to stay tuned because this is the special edition of the June 16 stream right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So all you need to do, man, stay with us, do not go anywhere.
Yeah, and of course, you know what? I want to from you, Vooka Nation, where are you spending the significant day? What are you getting up to? Like Mo said, engage with us. But before now, let's keep you updated with what's happening in and around Mzansi with our news update. Starting with your first let's hold on. Yes, there you go. With the first new headline, Eastern Cape flood death toll reaches 88. Eastern Cape floods have claimed 88 lives with more missing. Provincial officials have confirmed that 83 victims were identified while 5 remain unidentified. Temporary shelters and essential supplies are being provided to affected families. President Cyril Ramaphosa has proposed a day of remembrance and visited the area on Friday. With the Stilfontein, and your next news headline, the Stilfontein illegal miners remembered. Kuma residents, activists, and civil groups demand accountability for illegal miners' deaths in Stilfontein. Many unidentified Zamazamas have been buried as paupers, with more expected to follow this month. And in your last news headline, before Mweketi takes over with your sports news, the UK Zimbabwe move to restore ties after decades of tension. The UK and Zimbabwe have had strained relations since 1980, worsening in 2000 due to Robert Mugabe's land reforms. And of course, on this day, now UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer seeks improved ties with Lord Ray Collins, delivering the message in Zimbabwe. The first UK ministerial visit in over 7 years. And some Zimbabweans view the shift with suspicion, but it signals positive change. So last month, the UK lifted economic sanctions on 2 ministers, 2 security chiefs, and a defense company. And now, of course, Mwekezi with your sports news.
Yeah, man, let's keep you updated with the world of sports on what is going on, because man, when we speak about the sports in the weekend, so many action and drama is taking place. And speaking of the weekend action and drama, starting off with the cricket news, emotional Temba Bavuma reflects on special moment for the country. Temba Bavuma led South Africa to a historic ICC victory, defeating Australia by 5 wickets at the Lords to claim the World Test Championship title. He described the win as a special for himself and the country, likening it to the Springboks' success, uniting South Africans Bavuma reflected on his challenging journey, emphasizing resilience and the significance of the triumph in healing past struggle. As Kyle Vreen hit the winning run, Bavuma felt the weight of his sacrifices validated, hoping the victory would inspire unity and pride across South Africa, because in this day, that is what we are trying to celebrate. And sports is one of the things that bring us together as South Africans and as the youth. Now heading over to your women rugby news. Springbok women gunning for back-to-back Africa Cup titles. The Springbok women have reached the Rugby Africa Cup final after dominant wins against Uganda and Kenya at Stade Makiza in Antananarivo. Coach Frenzel September emphasized the importance of defending their title and improving they remain the best team in Africa. He acknowledged Madagascar's strength, including their ability to keep the ball alive and their home advantage. September stressed the need for strong breakdown management and maintaining their present structured approach. The final present an opportunity for the Bok women to showcase their dominance and secure another continental championship. Now heading over to your football news. Miguel Cardoso, we know in Africa we are one of the biggest teams. Mamelodi Sundowns will face Ulsan HD, Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense in Group F of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Coach Miguel Cardoso sees the tournament as a crucial test for the CAF Champions League runners-up, emphasizing the club's strongest mindset towards performance and winning trophies. He acknowledges Sundowns' status as one of the Africa's biggest teams and aims to assess their level against global competition. Cardoso, with experience in European leagues, stresses the importance of team strength over individual talent as they prepare for the challenge. We know that the Club World Cup has kicked off on a Friday, seeing Inter Miami playing a 0-0 draw to Al Ahly. So Sundowns are preparing to, play their game with Ulsan, Dortmund and Fluminense in their group. So all you need to do, man, is to keep updated. We'll keep you updated on what is going on the world of sports internationally and locally. So all you need to do is to let us know, man, if you are a fan of the Club World Cup or any sport, perhaps, so that we can share some of the moments that took place in the weekend. We know that sports make us the world champions right here, and we are the world champions of the Vooka Breakfast Show. So connect with us across social media platforms as we are continuing, man, with our daily dose of positivity. We're streaming live, as we told you that this is a special stream, man. This is a special stream. So all you need to do is to connect with us on YouTube, or use that hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show to comment down below. Share the live, man. Share the live, because sharing is caring.
You know? True, man.
Yeah.
Tag a friend to tell a friend that the Vooka Breakfast Show is alive and in your face. Of course, today, marks a significant day. And like I said, we need to know how you are spending this day. Of course, it's still a Monday, meaning it's a start of a new week still. Yeah. So as we start the week, we need that motivation and inspiration to get on with our day. And of course, today's message is quite special because it speaks to what the key that is going to set us free as the youth of South Africa, the youth of 25. You know what? Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And that is my word for you from the president of our country, the one of the most biggest and iconic figures of our country, Nelson Mandela. And of course, another quote from somebody who has been on our show, an icon in his own right, a transformational coach and thought leader, Usaki Badi. Something quite powerful that he does with his words is inspire the youth. And of course, he says in his own words, do not confuse having less with being less, having more with being more, or what you have with who you are. And of course, those are wise words from Saki Padi, who has dubbed himself a student of life. And of course, I would like to encourage the youth of South Africa to take a book, a page out of that book, to say, what, be a student of life. Because in this day and age, life usually how we come across and grow as people, the challenges that we face, the obstacle that we get over and that we cross and that we conquer, the mountains that we climb. We are the youth of 25.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be sharing with you, man, in terms of, how to celebrate and honor this Youth Day right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, right? So you just need to walk with us as we are going to be walking the streets of Soweto. The streets of Soweto are filled with so much memories and are significant. Maybe if we can grab one person, maybe someone who is old enough to tell us about, the struggles that they face when they were growing up, or they will tell you maybe in the street. I grew up in the street. I saw so many things happening, and taking place. So it's one of the things that when you celebrate and looking at Soweto as a whole, it's one of the things that we will be doing, right? I know as a young person and who is a Gen Z, who has grown up right here in the streets of Soweto, I can tell you with so many memories that shaped me to become the person that I am today. So I want you to share those moments with me right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Let's share the memories. So as I promised that I'm going to tell you how to honor their Youth Day. So these are the things that you need to do for the Youth Day in South Africa. But I'm going to start with an inspirational message that you can use together with your family and friends. Youth Day in South Africa, observed on this day, is a time to honor the bravery of students who fought against apartheid in 1976. Here are the meaningful ways to celebrate it and make sure that you take so much information and use it for the future generation that is going to be part of this era. So you need to attend commemorative events, visit historical sites like the Hector Peterson Museum, as we have highlighted it, and join the local Youth Day gatherings. We know that today the youth is going to be gathering for so many reasons, socializing and networking with, ways to combat our challenges that we are facing. So if you know anyone that is hosting or having that gathering, man, let us know right there so that we can share this information to the relevant people or people who may need it. Another thing that you need to use, another thing you need to do is to volunteer in your community. Engage in activities like cleanup project, mentorship programs, or charity work to empower young people so that they can become young active, because the young people are always, described as young and vibrant in communities. So we need that vibrancy. So I'm looking forward to knowing about the events that are going to be taking place, and also knowing what young people will be. Young people, what will they be up to on this beautiful and wonderful day, man? I don't know if you are looking forward to that.
I am. I would love to see more of what they will be getting up to. And of course, you know what? You can also support youth initiatives, promote businesses, art, and social movements driven by young South Africans, like we did right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show with Ipupo Alindlela last week for our movers and shakers on a beautiful Monday. And of course, educate and reflect. Vooka Nation, you know what? Read about the Soweto uprisings, watch documentaries, or discuss youth empowerment with friends and family. One thing that I know is happening right now is a production of Sarafina at the Market Theatre, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, those are the kind of things that you can go to and attend to reflect and educate yourself on this day. And of course, that would be supporting local productions that are making a difference and showing off South African stories. And of course, celebrate through arts and culture. That is important. And that's how you can do that, with attending things like, the Sarafina showing of, the showing of Sarafina arena at the Market Theatre and culture participate in music, poetry, and exhibition that highlight youth voices and struggles. And I hope now, Mzansi, you kind of have some ideas if you have not already known how to spend this day. And of course, now let's go into our topical segment, Mo. Something that is, that we spoke about is, youth of 76 versus the youth of 25.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, now I want to know from you, Mo, as we explore this topic and the legacy of the past and the challenges of the present in a thought provoking and compelling manner, I would like you to picture this, Mo.
Yeah.
It's June 16th as we are on the roads of Soweto in 1976, and the streets of Soweto are filled with the determined faces of young students. They are marching not just for themselves, but for the future of an entire nation. Fast forward to 2025, and we see a different kind of struggle. But the spirit of resilience still remains. So today we ask, how do the battles of the youth of 1976 compare to those faced by the youth of today?
Yeah. I mean, when you draw that picture, on my mind, it reminds me when I visited the Apartheid Museum, when we were taught about how the youth maneuvered through the challenges that they faced. And looking into today's world, and I would describe it as the 1976 youth gave, power to the youth of 2025, right? So that's what I have been seeing, and it's the freedom that a lot of young people have been yearning for, they have been crying for. So it brings me back to the say that says, too much power without structure, it's chaotic.
True.
So I think that's what is happening right now in our communities, that the youth of 1976 has given the youth of 2025 too much freedom and power. And that power is the power that they cannot even use in good ways, that can stimulate these young ones to be doing engaging activities that can empower them in our communities. So I think that's where we should be heading right now, empowering ourselves as young people and making sure that we stay in the lane that the youth of 1976 has created for us.
Yeah, well, in contrast, Mo, the youth of 76 were all driven by a singular mission. It was to fight the oppressive apartheid regime, right?
Yeah.
So the Soweto uprising was a pivotal moment, which was sparked by the imposition of Afrikaans as the medium of instruction in schools. So this was not just a protest against a language policy, Mo. It was a fight for equality and human rights. So thousands of students took the streets, and their bravery ignited a national movement that could and would change the course of South African history. And of course, now we fast forward right here to 2025, where, today the youth of South Africa face a different set of challenges. Unemployment rates are staggering, with 62.4 of young people aged between 15 and 24, 18 and 24, unemployed. The issue of gender-based violence, mental health crises, and systemic inequality are pervasive. So despite being the most globally connected generation, many South Africans are still struggling with just basic needs and safety. The youth of today are not just the future, they are the now. And these voices demand to be heard and need to be heard, Mo. But how can we do that? Like you said, too much power can be chaotic because we have so many choices. There's the digital evolution that's happening. And I don't know, man. A lot is happening right now with the youth. And as you have seen, we have, when it comes to content creation, AI, there's a lot. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, man. I mean, with how the youth of today will describe their problems is siyakowa. So umkowisho, it's something that is going on, right? So of course, man, when someone is going on, they need certain solutions to solve those problems and challenges that they're going through. So this day is the day whereby young people, man, they gather around and speak about the challenges that they face, both, socio-economic and also environmental, so that the government can also reach out. There are so many projects that have been rolled over by the government, especially the Yes for Youth program
True.
that is meant to help the young people and empower them in the streets of Soweto, because these streets, they deserve to become vibrant. They need to go back to where they stem from. All right. So right now, I'm just looking forward to be speaking with some young people on the streets, man, just to find out their insights if the South African government is doing justice to what they have been demanding for such a long time. Right. So I'm hoping that they are going to be engaging with us, because as young people, we aim, to bring those problems right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show and get them to the right ears to say, you know what, government, Mr. President, this is what the youth of South Africans are complaining about. And as right now, it is 29 minutes past 8, and the streets are going to be flooded with young people. So all you need to do is just to be ready and, just be ready to hear what young people are going to be complaining about, the challenges that they are facing right here in the streets of Soweto. Remember, we are streaming live right here in the streets of Soweto, where a lot of things took place, especially the Soweto uprising, man.
Yeah, Raul, Mo, while the youth of 1976, fought against an invisible, well, no, that's a lie, a visible enemy in the form of apartheid.
Yeah.
Today's youth battle a more insidious one, right? I mean, it's unemployment, it's inequality, a lack of opportunity. But then, the bravery of the past was about standing up to a regime. The courage of today is about navigating a system that often seems stacked against them. So both these generations share a common thread of resilience and a desire for a better future, but the context and nature of their struggles still differ significantly. So as we reflect on the legacy of the youth of 1976, we must acknowledge that the ongoing battles faced by the today's youth, the spirit of resilience, and of course the fight for a better future continues to define South Africa's youth. So it's not just about, commemorating the past, Vooka Nation, Mzansi as a whole. It's about committing to a future where every young person has the opportunity to thrive. So today's discussion is something we want to hear your thoughts on. So drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. How do you, Vooka Nation, think we can bridge the gap between the struggles of the past and the challenges of the present? We will also find out from the youth on the streets. So you need to stay tuned to hear their opinions and thoughts.
Yeah, of course, man. All you need to do is just to stay tuned, because we've got so much to share with you. And man, when it comes to our daily bread, when it comes to your today on what happened, we're going to be looking and shining a spotlight to some of the things that took place, whether it's 70 years back or dating back to 1976. We're going to be shining spotlight on those. So if you never got your history lesson by Mr. Nzimande, who robbed you in your high school days, don't worry, Mr. Maimane is here to teach you a lot more about what happened in 1976, and also maybe 10 years back. You will never know. So just stay with us. And also going to be looking into the celebrity birthdays that we have. We're also going to be giving special shout outs, man, to some of the people that we know. And man, as Vooka Breakfast Show, we are dedicated and determined in helping you to give you that daily dose of positivity, making sure that warm wherever you are, man. I mean, the sunlight is out, man. We are just enjoying the street of the vibrant street of Soweto, walking through, man. I just wish my cameraman can show you the nice street of Soweto on how they are looking like because that is what we are doing. Now the birds are also singing, and when you're looking at the life, it's what we call the Kasi lifestyle. Man. People wake up, and not only just roaming around, but when we are at the corners, we share the wisdom of what Kasi has to bring.
I feel like obviously, Ekasi, we have what that mentality, yeah, vukuzenzele, right?
Yeah.
You and of course, as we're about to, sizothenga amagwinya, we indulging in the Kasi lifestyle, and seeing that people are waking up and getting things done still on this youth day, right? So what we most interested in is the youth, and we want to know ukuthi bona bavuka kanjani bazenzele, right? And what they are doing for themselves to improve their own lives. I mean, right now, today, it's a public holiday, meaning nobody's going to school, is there? Or work. Well, some people are not going to work. Not all industries, Mo, are going to work. I mean, we still, right now, we are going to and that person had to wake up and go to work.
It is also a spirit of supporting local businesses,
right?
Because one of the initiatives is to grow businesses, small, medium enterprises around here in our communities. So the movement is also based on the initiatives. They want to also, encourage young people to open up businesses, because the township has its own economy, not only economy, but inclusive economy that keeps on growing each and every year.
Yeah, one of the initiatives is coming out for youth month is the Protea Glen Youth Business Launch Pad. Something we as the Vooka Breakfast Show will be actively taking part in to assist, and bringing that to you live. Everything that we will be doing right there, shining a spotlight and showcasing small businesses ran by the youth of South Africa.
Yeah, man. So as the Vooka team, man, we are just happy to be with you, because shortly we're going to be joined by one of our own Muslims, man, just to share his young days when he was growing up. What's happening, because we also would like to hear from our team as a whole to tell us about the commemoration of young people and the Youth Day. How do they want to celebrate it? What changes do they want to see in our communities? Are we heading towards the direction that we've always wanted to see? When you were learning about, Hector Peterson, Robert Sobukwe, Chris Hani, some of the movement and the motives that they had, in pushing black consciousness. Do you think South Africa is where it is right now? There's some few quizzes, man, that are going to be, playing with you right there as the Vooka Nation, just to test your knowledge on Youth Day as a whole, man. As we have arrived right here in one of the businesses, we would like to give them a spotlight on what they do right here. So we're going to buy some lunch. It's what we do right here.
Lunch is breakfast. No, it's still the morning. Don't you always just ahead of time, man? And now I'm about to Buckle. Yeah. Mo saying that this is lunch. This is breakfast still, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Coco. Hello.
Yeah, so all you need to do, guys, is to keep on those comments coming right there. Let me go through some of the comments right there just to bring you into the conversation. So they're only making them now. Right there we have TK1990 saying, good morning, Vooka Nation and Breakfast Team. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Good morning to you guys. I hope you are well and wonderful on this beautiful Monday, which is the June 16th, celebrating and commemorating the youth of 1976 and looking into the struggles of today's youth, which is the 2025 youth. And then Tembi coming through saying, a very good morning, team. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hopefully you had a great time on weekend. It's a new day, new week. week, Mavuga Amahle, be blessed. Yes, be blessed. Everyone who's out there, who is making sure that their struggles are faced with good solutions. And then Zinti coming through saying, good morning, Mavuga. Happy Youth Day. Today, as we commemorate 49 years this year, a blessed day to you all and a blessed week ahead. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Sivugile is the hashtag that we need to use. Hashtag Sivugile, man. Let us be woke. Right? Vuka means to be woke. So that is what we're trying to do right here. And the noise that we are making actually is to wake up people. Right? So as the Vooka Breakfast Show, when we make noise, people wake up and the streets start to become vibrant. And I have a Tembi saying it's the 49th year celebration Youth Day. Of course.
Again, hello. I come back.
Man, unfortunately he's working. People that would like to invite and hear, what they have to say about the youth of today, man. And I would really, really, really like to hear some of their thoughts on what they are thinking. So keep those comments coming, guys. The hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag that you need to use because yes, we are going to be keeping these streets so vibrant that you would never even believe that we are in Soweto, right? It's a holiday. We know that you guys are going to be enjoying your days with your family. Some of you are going to be attending those engaging activities and youth initiatives that are going to be taking place. So in the background, man, as you can see that it is Monday. For some of the townships or the streets of Soweto, they're taking away rubbish bins, right? We know that from the beginning of the week up until to Friday, these guys are the ones who are on the streets making sure that our streets are always clean. So keep Soweto clean is some of the things that we are going to be speaking about, man. Keeping Soweto clean. We wanted to hear from you, right? So it is these kind of initiatives that we are always appreciating Mzansi. So all you need to do is stay with us, man. It is a special stream right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. And yeah, we're outside, man. We're outside, we're doing it. Yeah, it doesn't mean when we're outside, the fun stops. The fun doesn't stop. So I don't know if it's possible to get one of our elders who is
their platforms. But of course, it needs not end there. It can also continue on our WhatsApp line using the number 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Comment, like, subscribe, and do the things that are necessary to be done so that you and I, and of course more in TC, and the rest of the team can share our thoughts, our opinions, and everything else in between. I can't wait to hear from you. A bit earlier on, Utembi Mngqi came through saying, a very good morning, team. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Sivugile. Hopefully you had a great time over the weekend, and it's a new week. Be blessed. We appreciate you, Mam Tebi, and you know that we love you. And then TK1990 jumped. Good morning, Vooka Nation and Breakfast Team. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Zinzi Elizabeth also came through saying, good morning, Mavuga. Happy Youth Day. Today, as we commemorate 49 years this year, a blessed day to you all. And blessed week ahead. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. And then Tebing is saying also that it has been 49 years since the struggles or the uprisings of June 16th, 1976. Lerato Ntogazi Mbata also saying, loving this Youth Day segment. Such amazing stuff. You can only get this content that we're bringing to you live, authentic, unscripted, unprepared, only and exclusively right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Yes, more.
Still in the vibrant streets of Soweto, man. We're doing it different. As Lerato is saying that you're loving this youth segment. You know, man, the youth need to be taking over the street. It's what we are doing right now. And taking over it doesn't mean us just wandering around and doing nothing. But now we are trying to conversate with people, trying to know some of the things that young people are facing, the struggles, the challenges that young people are facing. So we are going to be looking into that with us. And if you happen, to have been in the, the era of 1976, everything panned out where you were right there, you were protesting, please just let us know, your experience on what was happening at the moment. What was the energy of the young people, the energy that they were giving off, right? As we're going to be touching on so many things as what is 2025's energy directed towards to?
Yeah.
Is it directed towards building this country to become the best and the greatest country in the world, or it is led to be destroyed? As the right there was saying, this youth of what they're doing is to destroy what has been built
Yeah.
for quite some time, 49 years. And what is it that we have to celebrate? What is it that we need to we are still celebrating them, we are still commemorating them
Yes.
for the struggles that
Yes,
they
man.
have fought,
Yeah.
to see the changes in our country. So please share those experiences with us, man. We would like to hear from you right home, from the comfort of your home. Don't worry, we'll do the job for you, man.
Absolutely.
We'll do the job for you.
Absolutely. You know, what stands out for me, Mo, I'll tell you, is that I think as a society and as a youth day specifically, we tend to forget what the importance of this day means, right? And we tend to forget what this day signifies. Like I mentioned on Friday, as we were closing off Friday's episodes and Friday's show, is that over the years we've seen that, I think especially more in the last 10 years, on this day people tend to just have fun, and go out and drink and have a good time. And rapara uniform as if, it means nothing. It's just one of those things. Guys, get June 16. What people tend to do, Mokasi specifically, is they'll wear uniform in a sense of, no guys, man, get June 16. We have to wear uniform. But I think we tend to forget, and we're not necessarily as cognizant as we should be, or as we can be, as people of the society and Mokasi in our communities, in our environments, that this day actually means that this, that, and the other. The importance of 16th of June in South Africa signifies that the youth of that time, the youth of yesterday, were really fighting against, the usage of Afrikaans as a medium of communication, a medium of teaching and learning. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And the minority was really oppressing, like you're mentioning, was really oppressing the majority. And it was an unfair thing, an unjust thing. You can't live in a society where the minority of the country are oppressing and pressing down on the majority of the people who are living in that country. And so I think it's something that we need to reiterate year in, year out, just as a society, maybe from a governmental level, maybe from a, from a school level even, to try and really in our brains and our minds that, guys, when it comes to this, let's not just get public holiday. Because that's the thing, I think what today specifically, as it's Monday, people are feeling like, it's a Monday. We're not waking up. We're going to have a good time.
Let's chill.
Yes.
Let's vibe.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But what we're trying to signify here is the importance of this day. And so that we don't take it lightly, we don't take it for granted, and we don't forget. So that Lerona, 10, 15, 20 years from now, when our kids think of this day, they know the importance of what their grandparents and their great-grandparents would have fought for on this day. So, with that being said, we would absolutely love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and everything else in between. What do you think should be done when it comes to the 16th of June in South Africa? In celebrating it, in commemorating it, in trying to remember what was fought for in yesteryear. What is the one thing that sticks out in your mind that we should always do?
Man.
What are you doing? You, Kiwalwen, I'm talking to you who's listening and watching right now, from wherever you're tuned in from. Like Mo mentioned, that from your comfort, from the comfort of your home, your couch, your bed, because you can listen and watch us and hang out with us and spend some time with us from wherever you are. What's the one thing that you think we should do on this day, specifically the 16th of June, on a year-to-year basis? What do you do? Are you one of those people who takes it for granted and goes out and drinks and has a good time? Or even in your enjoying and experiencing it, are you always cognizant of what this day means.
Yeah,
And that's the one thing for me. Mo.
Yeah, of course, man. Continuing with what we have on today history, just to derail, man, and digest all of the information that we've been sharing with you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, man. Speaking about the youth, commemorating and celebrating what the youth of 1976 has done for this era and the youth of 2025. So let us go back, man, and look into what are we celebrating today? What are we looking into when it comes to history? For movie lovers, man, today in 1955, Batman Forever opens with a record of $528 million weekend, starring Val Kilmer, Chris O'Donnell, Tommy Lee Jones, and Nicole Kidman. Right? Batman Forever in 1995, directed by Joel Schumacher, was a box office hit, starring Val Kilmer, Chris O'Donnell, Tommy Lee Jones, Nicole Kidman. It featured a brighter, more stylized approach compared to its predecessors and introduced Robin to modern Batman films, right? And while commercially successful, it received mixed reviews for its tonal shift from Tim Burton's darker vision.
Do you know that version of Batman?
No. I'm exposed to the new modern Batman, the Joker Batman, the Dark Knight, right?
Which one? In your books is Batman?
Bane.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's slightly an older version, but in your books is who's this? Matt Damon. Is it Matt Damon? No? Or who's that guy? Not Matt Damon. TC, remind me, man. Who's the Batman now? The current Batman in the DC? Christian Bale's Dark Knight Rises.
I know the guy that you're speaking about, man. The guy who shoots the Batman that uses guns. We know that Batman has never used a gun, but this one's lazy to a point that he uses guns, man. When he
Ben Affleck, yes.
Ben Affleck.
Is Ben Affleck your Batman?
No, not at all, man.
Yeah, I know the version, and it's so funny. Actually, over the weekend, I saw it in passing. Tommy Lee Jones, Nicole Kidman, and Val Kilmer, that Batman. So I know that version quite well, man.
Of course,
very
man.
interesting stuff. Yeah,
and I think, and I would wish maybe if we were about to, highlight some of the movies that were shot in commemoration of the youth was Sarafina. I wish we had some of the information about it, man. Getting the information about the directors on what did they think, what happened, the behind the scenes of the movie to come through as it is.
There's something I can share with you, actually. It's a very, very interesting story. One that I found, one that I found very interesting when I was growing up, and I came across Sarafina.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but there's this scene herself, Leleti takes the gun from her house, right? And she goes with it and she goes and throws it in the dam. Right? I don't know if you know that scene. Do you remember that scene?
I know the scene.
You know what? This is so funny. So apparently, I mean, it's a movie. Mara, you should remember this. This was the mid-90s, right? Sarafina was shot. And apparently, the thing is, I don't know how true this is, but people went out and went to look for that gun in the dam after the movie came out, right? And the thing behind it was that because it was shot more Dorothy Nyembe, just behind Dorothy Nyembe, as you're about to get to the Sofeng, where the Sofeng is, right? I mean, this is the beauty of live streaming on Agokhai, because we're in the streets of Santin. Kids are going out and going. So the kids are making noise behind us, man, and they're playing with their bikes and stuff. Young Uber Eats. The young boy there has like a small bike with a ShopRite thing.
Expect them while they are young, man.
So that's the thing, Mo. So because it happened there, people went out and looked at in the dam, thinking that they would find it and stuff. So that's very funny to find. It was very funny and interesting to find out.
Still in conversation with the young people. One of the people who's going to be joining us is a young man who's a youth. Can one of them join us right here? Just to share with us, man, into celebrating Youth Day and the significance of celebrating Youth Day. Good morning, my brother Hunjan.
Guys.
Man. Siapila. This is the Vooka Breakfast Show, right? Right now, we are streaming live on YouTube, and in commemoration of celebrating a June 16. Can you please tell us some of the challenges that young South Africans are facing today?
Eish. Okay, i-June 16 angithi based on istruggle
Yes.
esakudala abantwana besikolo balwela ama-rights wabo. So right now I think we're still going through that, but ngendlela different right now because kids are falling into drugs lately. So I think kumele bacabanga ukuthi sibuyaphi ukuthi bebalwela ama-rights ukuthi bazofunda kahle bathola i-basic education egrand. So right now I don't understand what's happening with the system, but anyway kumele si-celebrate lelanga leli abantu bazoadaptela ukuthi liminani libuyaphi yabona into enjalo. Yeah.
So right now, if you were given a chance, let me say the government is listening to young people right now, but the challenges and some of the things that you guys would like to see happening in communities or, in South Africa as a whole. What would you say to them? Given a chance to speak to the president, to the government, what is it that you would like to say to them?
Right now, I don't know if I should compare the past and now, ne?
Yeah, you can.
But right now, isn't the youth they have different backgrounds. That's why baguma drugs and whatsoever, and I think they all need assistance. So ukuthi abazi bazokhuluma nobani ngalezi zinto ngama situation abanawo. So aqala bafunda history yabo ukuthi ibuyaphi, bazo understand ukuthi why balaba khona, but they can still change because nami I was one of a victim of my drugs. Yabo. Now I'm learning about the
Young people are not doing things. Young people are sitting and they are lazy. But here's a young person who's taking accountability and saying, I was wrong. I did bad. To get himself backwards in terms of the struggles that he faced and some of the actions that he took, right?
Yeah.
And we love that and we appreciate that. So if you are around the streets of Dobsonville, do you would like. He's not alone. He has friends that he is associated with now. Great people who are behind the camera right now. And hopefully this is something that you and I can take away right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. I'm seeing on our YouTube comment section, Tumza66 is saying, good morning, Vooka Nation. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Sivugile. Happy Youth Day. Stay youthful and empowered. Danko. We appreciate that, man. And we hope that you can still continue sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and everything else in between, man.
Yeah, man. We're still going through some of the today in history on what happened as we're going through, Batman Forever opening up with a record of 528 million US dollars. But yeah, that's all for going to be looking into the inventions made by South Africans.
Yes, sir.
Because, as much as we were celebrating Africa Month last month, we still commemorate Africans for making significant moves, man, and making sure that whatever that they create, it works out and it is helpful in our communities as a whole. So let us look into the inventions made by South Africans. So today we have a retinal cryoprobe, right? Selir Percy Amols, a specialist in retinal disease, created a new method of cataract surgery. He developed this method at Baragwanath Hospital in Soweto. Amols achieved wide recognition for his invention and in 1975 received the Queen's Award for Technological Innovations. His cryoprobe has since been on display in Kensington Museum, London. Very interesting things that are going on, man, in our country and in Africa as a whole. We are celebrating inventions made by South Africans and And looking into the National Day for today, yes, we are celebrating Youth Day, commemorating the youth of 1976 and the struggles. And another one that we have today is a Fresh Veggies Day.
Oh, wow.
Right? Celebrate Youth Month by attending events, volunteering, supporting youth initiatives, learning about Soweto uprising, and engaging in creative cultural expressions like music and poetry, and also keeping healthy, right? It's not a day where we should be indulging in unhealthy things, indulging in alcohol and drugs. We should keep ourselves, healthy,
and fresh.
And fresh.
And eat fresh veggies. Guys, stop drinking alcohol.
Is there a veg you don't eat?
Is there a veg? A veg? You don't,
You don't
eat
eat
cucumber.
cucumber?
You know, I'll tell you, Mr. B, it's very funny that you mentioned that. Growing up, I actually didn't eat cabbage for a long time. Not that I didn't like it or anything. I just did. It didn't do anything for me, but I just didn't like it. But now,
I didn't like it because maybe shared as opposed to
oh, you just didn't like.
very sharp.
Oh, I see. I mean, we have the thing, you know, we grew up like that. I don't know about anyone else who's watching and listening right now, but growing up, you know, our parents and grandparents had this way of cooking cabbage. And they would use mafura ake avoros. Yawazi la mafuta lawa yabi wakomba lawa khala ekomishini efrijini. And then ba khadike. And it would smell like it's like it would smell like it's proper. That's being prepared at home. But this is how we grew up, man.
Yeah, man.
We grew up right here in the streets of Soweto. The streets more. I remember, it's so funny, where we're standing now, and Mr. P, I think you would remember, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up back in the day, main road to Orushabiling, the main road that we're facing right now, was like a no-go or area, right? You would know from the ad that we have, the ad that we have on the Vooka Breakfast Show where we are on the van. It was on this street, right? Momokhorosi Street, Thompsonville, a very famous street that we're on in Thompsonville. I don't think that there's any Thompsonvillian who doesn't know the street. But I think Mr. B would know, Hormen Roti Elimo was and this was influenced maybe back in the struggle. But it was a cut-off area in Thompsonville where Batuakam, where we are standing right now, could not cross over to that side, right? And then Batubaka, people who lived on that side of the could not cross into this side. And if you were to come this side, because predominantly Thompson really is a Tswana-speaking area. I think in the entirety of Soweto, when you're looking for Setswana authentically, Thompson really is the one place where in Soweto, right? But even in Thompsonville is cut spaces, right? There's Dobsonville Extension, where hostel used to be, Boys, as it was affectionately referred to back in the days. Then it was destroyed. This is where you find not the flats. Yega Africa was saying on Friday. Dobsonville apartments. It's apartments, guys. Dobsonville. And then you have what is referred to as Coast Tswane, because that's where a lot of Tswana-speaking people, right? That's where a lot of Tswana-speaking people are, or that's where they live. And then where we're standing now, it's referred to as Istanbul. I've never actually looked into why that is, right? But a lot of people who live this side are Xhosa and Zulu speaking. Even go Block 7 next to the Dobsonville Stadium, right? A lot of Xhosa and Zulu speaking people are this side. It was a thing back in the day. I remember even when we grew up, I don't know about you, Mr. B, if you are affected by the same thing, but if you were to speak Setswana this side, you are looked at very well now. What are you doing on our side? What are you doing on our side of town, you know, or our side of Dobsonville? And if you were to find someone who speaks Sizulu and Xhosa on that side of the main road, it's like, we know what I'm talking. Why was it Zulu and Xhosa? And it's so funny because we do have what is referred to as hostel. And hostel back in the day was a place where men were. When they would work in the mines and in factories and stuff like that. We know the one thing that tried to identify the style of living of the hostel was Mzinezin when we were growing up, to try and showcase, you know, what life is like in the hostels. But we do have one right here in Dobsonville, Pure Village, as it's referred to, you know. But one of the places that also quite significant right here in the streets of Soweto is Vooka Academy Youth Center. Way over 10 years ago, I remember when I was still in high school, I knew a few people who would use this very same house as a center for them, where they would come after school and study, you know, try to better themselves as young high school students, where they would participate in extracurricular activities, right? And this is the place that you could visit, called Vooka Academy Youth Development Center. It's an educational assistance. It has social intervention. It also has recreational activities, career guidance, and mentorship. And lastly, skills development and
And
training.
one of the interesting things, I think, Build One SA, is
Yes.
also going to be using this facility,
Yes.
as a hub for people to come and know more, the information about what Build One SA is trying to do in South Africa, just to improve our communities as a whole. It's centers like these, man, these ones behind
That
us
we need
that we
more.
need.
Yeah.
More of these centers means more information is shared, and more information leads to transformation. Young people are going to become as vibrant as they need to become, because now information is something that is being shared to them. So right here in Dobsonville, man, there are a lot of things that are taking place and that are happening. And speaking of something that are happening, man, one of the sort of Dobsonville residents.
Yes.
Baba igama ubani baba ngicela nje usondele sigene eframe so that abantu.
Enoch Motswagai.
Motswagai,
Yes, sir.
So Mr. Inoko, it's June 16 today, celebrating young people, and we are comparing the youth of 1976 and the youth of today. So now, in terms of what you've seen in 1976 and seeing today, what has changed?
Kona le me do tse dintsi tse di change-ileng because gona nyana bona ba rona ba tsene dikolo ba mo gae and ba le mo gae ba bang ba na le, you can name them, matric ba bona le di-masters ba bona le ding, so ba dutse mo gae gona mosebetsi. And then what is the use re tsenya bana dikolo re itse gore ba tlo tlhopega, and then ka nako ya rona this thing e ne le ntho e leng mo le gore mebereko ne le mentsi, bontate ba rona ne ba sebetsa le rona re bereka and re tsena dikolo. So that is why le gona nyana bontate ba kry-a batho ba di-16 ba ile ba kgona go golela ntwa e re leng mo go yone jaaka gona na re mo freedom, mara freedom ya rona bana rona ba enjoy. So go thusa botlhoko thata re na le freedom, mme ga e re thuse ka sepe, ga ona mesebetsi, batho bagolo ba tsenelwa, ntho e le ko godimo ke crime. Ntho e crime ke yone le ko godimo, and gore e nne teng ke taba tsa gore batho ba tshwere ke tlala ya gona ditiro. So government ga e re dire le sepe, and then sa bobedi le yone government ya teng ba tla mo rona, mara ga gona sepe se ba re fang sone, ke ditshepiso fela. Yeah.
So if nona le molaetsa to government, if right now ba bona ke se leng gore no batla go ba bolella sona gore tsotlhe tsa mo community ya rona di kgona go improve, and le bana ba engage ebile ba be part of community youth programs ba mereko, ke message ona le yona for
ntho ya rona e nka e buang gona nyana ke re ne ke batla gore government ya rona e se kana le di-empty promises mo setšhabeng, and then le go stopa crime e ye ko tlase, mapodisa a rona a dule a ntse a le visible, ba tlhagele gona nyana basadi bagolo ba tsenelwa mo malapeng, batho ba thubelo ra senyegelwa. So ntho e leng teng a government e tle mo go rona le one e re bolele mo e ka thusang teng le mo e palelwang teng. Yeah.
so yaanong kopa go botsa fela molaetsa wa bofelo o na leng ona for youth ya 2025, motivation o ka ba fang yona gore le bona ba kgone go ithola ba solve di-challenges tse leng gore ba di mo matsatsing nje.
Group youth ya gona nyana re ka re a ba group ba se ka emela gore government e mo go bone, le bone ba e ko bone ba kgone go bontsha gore go na le tse ba ka di dirang, gore na le dilo tse dintsi gona nyana mo matsatsing a fetileng go tlile go ke sepodisi, dilo tsa teng ga di kgone go bakanyiwa. Re na le bo mechanic ba bantsi mo locationeng, ba ka bakanya dikoloi tsa government, ba ka bakanya ditsela, ba ka bakanya dikago tsa teng. So youth yone ga ikemiseditse ke yone ntho e ka ba thusang gore government e ba bone. Yeah.
Tate Enoch, ra leboga Rebogela nako ya gago. One of the Sowetan and the Dobsonville resident, Ntate Enoch, man, speaking about the problems and the struggles that the youth of this country is facing, and not only the youth, man, even the elders.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Struggle more. You know, the one thing that I always say is that what our parents and our grandparents fought for in those years, right, during the apartheid era, we're still feeling the ramifications as the youth of today. To this day, we're still feeling them now.
True.
You know, the struggles obviously are different, right? But we're still feeling and you know, going through similar things, where you find that 10 years ago, you know, the youth of that time were fighting for fees, tertiary schooling, where we saw the uprise of the fees must fall movement. It all stemmed at the core of it. It stemmed from what your parents, my parents, our parents fought for at the time. You know, so something like that should not have happened completely, in my view. Honestly speaking, the fees must fall movement is something that should not have happened, because when, you know, the government of the new society, when the ANC came into power now, they promised free education.
True.
You know, and but unfortunately, we didn't get to a point where we could get that as a society, and so we saw the need for the fees must fall movement to come up. You know, I remember people like Abobusi, people I went to high school with, were at the forefront of the fees must fall movement, and it wasn't fun, man. To this day, there's people who are, part of that movement, who are still imprisoned now. You know, and there was a time where the conversation was about presidential pardons. People who are at the forefront of the fees must fall movement, should they be allowed to get presidential pardons for the actions that they displayed during the fees must fall movement, as people who are at the forefront of it, you know? And in my opinion, honestly speaking, I think they should. They should absolutely be pardoned for everything that happened, because I don't think, you know, the movement was meant to be a malicious one. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It was genuinely fighting for education. At the core of it, it was education. And even in the struggle, 1976 more, at the core of it, it was education. Banabana Gwelo, the youth of that day or of that year, were not saying we don't want to go to school. They were simply saying we just don't want to use Afrikaans as a means of communication, a means of teaching and learning in the classroom. That's it. We want to go to school, but is not something that we agree with.
Man. So still raising some of the struggles that you know, Sowetan residents are facing, and some of those exclusive inter going to be available right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. But you know that we are today, as we're celebrating youth, it goes hand in hand with celebrating people who are today, you know, shining a spotlight on a friend that is growing up, or a sibling, or maybe your daughter that is growing up right there, man. So we're going to be looking into people who are growing up, celebrity birthdays. So on our first one, we would like to send a special shout out and a special happy birthday to Nompilo Mazibuko Shabalala. Born today, man, 2011 on this day, and she is aged 14, right? And interesting fact about Nompilo that she enjoys doing TikTok videos and challenges, and also being in front of the cam. And who knows, maybe she might be the next Vooka presenter.
Yes,
time goes, right?
yes,
because she
definitely.
enjoys being in front of
camera.
So a special shout out, a special happy birthday to you. I hope that you enjoy your day and you cherish those moments that come with the memories that you're going to be having this day. Happy birthday.
So today, 14 years ago, TC, where were you?
14 years ago.
14 years ago.
The mother of Nompilo. Yeah, man. There she is right there, man.
In a hospital.
Yeah, But a special shout out to her, man. From the Vooka team to you, Nompilo. Happy birthday to
Yeah,
you.
man. Yeah.
And then another birthday that we have, man, is Tupac Shakur.
Ah.
Born today in 1971 and passed away in 1996 at the age of 25. Interesting fact about him, Tupac released several critically acclaimed albums, including All Eyes on Me and Me Against the World, which are still celebrated today.
Yeah.
Also known as Tupac, he was one of the more notable figures in the 90s East Coast, West Coast hip hop rivalry. He released the 4 albums between 1991 and 1996, eventually selling over 75 million albums worldwide. He was killed in a drive-by shooting after watching a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You know, for me, Mo, what really stands out is like with Tupac's music, right? I mean, of course, we know Guti. Lyric Benelli, you know, can rap his songs, but I mean, the messaging that his songs and his music, his artistry has, and how he focused on the struggle of, you know, the black child in America, and obviously some things happen right here in Mzansi, still relevantly. Ekasi, his music, a lot of people loved his music, Ekasi, and because they could relate, right? And so you can see that the black child struggle worldwide is one that we can all relate to, whether you're from America or you're from South Africa.
Anyway.
The black child struggle is the same. And I need you to think about that in the sense that, you know, why youth Mzansi connected so much to Tupac in those days, and still do right now. So that is quite significant, and how music and storytelling, how often that we come together and we can relate to each other just through artistry, music, culture. That one. Think
Very interesting, man. His legacy and his music still lives on right here on.
So he's the first rapper to release a double disc album. At the time was something that was unheard of. You know?
Yeah.
So in terms of pushing boundaries, he pushed boundaries. So question to you is, what's that one thing you know hasn't been done? It has been impressed upon you. So go ahead and do it.
Push beyond the limits, man. Yeah, man. I think with today's youth, one of you know, the things, I mean, it's something that Yeshua, you know, highlighted, that the struggles of today's youth is, you know, being inconsistent. You know, people cannot stick, and they don't have the patience, you know, to wait and to come and to arrive to make sure that their dreams, you know, they come true. But yeah, man, with Tupac, a lot of things with his message, his legacy, his music is still living on till this day, man. Making relevant, because even if you can listen for like, even if you can listen at his song, you know, that dated back, it speaks to today's struggle. Yeah, man.
all that.
So the next one that we are celebrating today is MC Ren, born today in 1969 and turning age 56 years. Interesting fact about him, MC Ren's 1992 debut, Kiss My Black Ass, and acclaim, proving his solo rap strength. Compton rapper who was a member of the iconic late 80s, early 90s gangster rap group, the NWA. After the group disbanded in 1991, he released several moderately successful solo records, including Shock, The Hour, and The Villain in Black. Right, happy birthday to MC Ren. And then the next one is Daniel Brühl. Right, see right there, Daniel born today, 1978, turning 47 years old. Interesting fact about him, Goodbye Lenin, and him several awards, including the European Award for Best Actor. He played Frederick Zola, a German war hero in Inglourious Basterds.
Glorious Bastard.
Yeah, alongside Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
His role in Goodbye Lenin garnered him a German Film Award for Best Actor. Happy birthday to Daniel, man.
Do you know Inglourious Basterds?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
man,
very cool
very
movie,
cool
man.
movie, man.
Yeah,
That's-
Nazi Germany. Yeah.
And then the last one that we have here, but second last one, because I also have a special shout out birthday that I would like to do.
Okay.
Bill Cobbs was born today in 1934 and passed away in June 25, 2024, which was last year at the age of 90. Interesting fact about Cobbs, he has appeared in over 120 films and television shows. Acting veteran who appeared in over 120 films and TV productions, including Night at the Museum and The Sopranos. His versatile acting open role for him in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Very interesting, man. May your legacy continue, man, to live on Mr. Bill Cobbs, and heavenly birthday to you. And of course, the last one that I would like to mention, man, is my friend Arthur Mpahlele. Known for this brand, wonderful brand, the ASM, man. The legacy and the message behind this is the smallest things that make the greatest impact.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah, man. So just from even finding ASM to being on the KTS conversation, the KTS whereby we invite guests to come in our podcast, share about their work and what they're doing, man. So a special shout out to you, my friend, man. Happy birthday to you, June 16, and I wish you many, many more years, man. And this day, these are the days that you need to cherish your whole life, man. So a special shout out from me and the rest of the team. Vooka team would like to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
to you, man.
definitely. I
Enjoy
have
your
one
day,
last one, bro. One last one is to my pianist. My pianist, the guy who handles the keys for me and has been doing it for the last 5 years. A huge shout out to Mandla Kekana. Mr. Kawuta say, Mandla is an amazing pianist, man. And he was celebrating his birthday yesterday, though, not today. The 15th of June. He was born on this day in 1996. And he's an amazing musician, an amazing music director when he plays that role. And of course, what he specializes in and what he majors in is the keys, man. And a huge shout out to you, Mr. Kawuta. I appreciate you. And yeah, man, I love you, man. Yeah.
You know, with music,
yes, sir.
also used in the struggle, right?
Yes. It was a huge role. Artists like Momirem Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Mbongen Ngema played a huge role. And because why that was significant is that as artists, or part of our responsibility as artists is to reflect the times that we're living in. And the musicians and artists of that year or of that era played a huge role. The one song that always comes to mind whenever we are talking about the struggle and apartheid is Nanga maphoyisa hlasela uDlamini emgodini wegolida madoda phelile. It's a great song for me, you know. There's a lot of songs that I think each one of us can think of whenever we think of the struggle, you know. But a huge happy birthday to everyone who's celebrating their birthday today. We hope that you'll have a great one and the year should fruitful, prosperous, and of course one that is filled with so much love and laughter and joy with friends and family and everyone that you love. So happy birthday to all of you. So in our YouTube comment section, Zinzi came through a bit earlier on saying happy birthday Mpilo and Tupac, long live Makaveli. Very cool stuff. And then this is someone who's very interesting for me. ODR Nkomo came through. Happy heavenly birthday to Tupac. He was an amazing legend.
Oh, man.
This one is a very cool one for me, this comment, because this is actually my sister-in-law.
Wonderful.
You know, so people are joining us, man. So
let's celebrate this day, man. Let's make it worthy.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending some time with us on this 16th of June. She was having the time of her life last night. I was seeing her status updates on WhatsApp, and she was having the time of her life. And so this morning she's spending some quality time with us. Right here, only and exclusively on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinkcourt Network, man.
So is it me? But this guy you were interviewing earlier, man.
Yeah.
I had to Tupac.
Which one? The one who talk?
Yeah. With the nose ring.
Yes, sir.
I mean, with what he went through, you know, the message that he has for the young people, man. Because I mean, we live through our struggles.
Yes,
you know.
definitely, Mo.
You know, he highlighted that, and he has shown people that, I mean, with whatever that you go through, man, you can still conquer. You know, time is still there. So it's people like him, man, even shining some light on his business. You know, he
Yes,
washes
yes,
sketches. If you want to
yes.
check him out, don't worry, we'll share the
A sneaker
information,
wash,
man.
yeah.
Or maybe invite him, man, for an exclusive interview right there.
Yes, Mo,
you know, just
definitely.
to, you know, let people know about his story. Maybe someone right there think they are being judged for what they did in the past. But you know what? There's always opportunities, man. There's always open horizons that are available for you to pursue and chase your dreams. It does not there. But yeah, those are the. You have something to say?
Yes, I do, Mo.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love that the youth that we're talking to today has that vuvuzenzele mindset. You know, because with the sneaker wash, I mean, guy went through adversity, he went through challenges, he made mistakes, he learned from them, and now he's like, you know what? I am going to take it upon myself.
Yeah.
Ngizovuka, ngizozenzela, whether it be in a small way, like, you know what, starting a sneaker right here, ekasi, you know, finding ways to create your own opportunities. So, you know, one difference that I've noticed with the youth of 76 and the youth of today is that, well, not difference, perhaps a similarity, is that yes, back then it was a struggle against oppression, but mental slavery is one thing that we need to free ourselves from. I see that you spoke about, you know, show me your friends and I'll show you, yeah, tell you how you, who you are,
Yeah.
show you future. So, guys, it's a mental slavery thing. It's about freeing your mind as young people. Because as we live in a digital age and everything is so readily available, something we have encouraged here on the Vooka Breakfast Show is free thinking. Open your mind. Look at the opportunities. Look at what you have. Use what you have. Begin with where you are. Because, I mean, if usekasi every day and you know the struggles of abantu abasekasi, you are familiar with the pain points that they have. So what can you do to position yourself in a way where these struggles and these challenges become opportunities? And that is the kind of thinking as the youth we need to have. We need not look at our struggles and only see struggle, but we need to see our struggles as opportunities for growth. And that is us freeing ourselves from the mental slavery that we have been told to be under or have been oppressed under. So, I mean, it's just something to think about. And of course, just a thought from me, your positivity dose of the day.
Oh man, a beautiful dose of the day, man. Your energetic start to the day of continuing. It's still cold, of course. It's June, but we're making sure that you're keeping warm right there at home. And man, speaking of that, what the guy said is do not let your past,
Define you, definitely, Mo. Yeah.
Do not let your past
definitely.
define you, because there's so many opportunities available right here in the township. In Soweto, we have what we call the Soweto economy.
Yes.
Right, and driving Soweto to become clean. And one of the initiatives,
The Green Scholar
Green
Initiative,
Scholar, man.
under Sebenza Nati
Of
Waste
course.
Management.
Yeah.
Man.
So keeping
yeah.
Soweto clean and making our streets are always clean, for people to come and explore a lot of opportunities that Soweto has to offer.
Yeah.
But man, when it comes to something that it has to offer in our communities, right, on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we do what we call word of the day.
Absolutely.
Improving our day-to-day spoken,
Yeah.
man, with our vocab. Of course, man, what kind of vocab you want to improve, because also we're going to be doing African languages.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
some of the things that we're going to be looking into, because khona le manzi, khona amazwi, yile amagama esiwasebenzisayo mihla namihla, you know.
Aya,
That people
never. Akahana.
that people want to, you know, to know.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
even slang, man. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Wheat.
you know, things like
Wheat.
that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things, man. And as time goes, they do evolve, right? And those words, they do evolve, man. And speaking of evolving, they get us to where we are. So
Yeah.
let us look into today's word of the day and how would you use it. And of course, man, we just need to use it in contrast of what is happening today, which is we're celebrating Youth Day, right?
Yeah, man.
So our word of the day for today is benevolence, right?
Benevolence.
Ah, benevolence.
Yeah.
Okay. Benevolence.
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 Okay, I see you,
right?
Mr. Mo. Okay.
So
How do you spell benevolence?
it's a BENEVOLECE, right?
NCE.
Yes, NCE.
Yeah.
BENEVOLENCE.
Benevolence.
That's how you spell the word. And of
Okay.
course, you're asking yourself, man, what's the word? How
What does
do
it
I
mean?
define,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, what does it mean?
Yes, sir.
So the word means it refers to the quality of being well-meaning, kind, and charitable towards others. Right?
What does it mean? One more
It
time.
means it refers to the quality of being well-meaning, kind, and charitable towards
Well-meaning,
others. Yeah.
kind, and charitable towards others.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah, benevolence, well-meaning.
Yeah, and
charitable.
also
Okay.
a sentence example. Maybe you're asking yourself,
How
I
can you use this
you
word
know,
in a
the
sentence?
word
Yes,
in a
sir.
sentence?
Yes, sir.
So a sentence example that we have right here reads as follows. Her benevolence was evident in the way she always offered help to those in need without expecting anything in return.
One more time.
Her benevolence was evident in the way she was always offered help to those in need without expecting anything in return. So when you are someone acting out of benevolence, you know,
Benevolence.
you are giving out, you know, you're helping people in need, you know, without even expecting anything in return.
Yes,
Right? If
sir.
you are that person, man, just let us know, you know, one moment you just became that benevolent person you know, in your daily life, right? Just share with us on how, you know, you use the word, because right now I'm just thinking on how we can match it, you know, with what is happening today, man. How would one become, you know, charitable towards other people? And I think for me, it will be sharing information to the youth of 1976. We still have the youth of 1976 who still roam around our streets and they complain about the government making so much promises. And it will be benevolent of me to share the information
Oh,
that
wow.
they are missing. Right? So,
Look at you, Mo. Okay.
yeah, so
Hey.
I just want to share the information from them. I just want to extract the information from them so that I can submit the information to the right ears without getting anything in return, right?
Yeah.
So when we are listening to people's struggles in the street, it doesn't mean we want money from those stories.
Yes,
Because
sir.
you know some of the people, you know, they want profits through other people's struggles, right? But I think it's for us as the Vooka nation to become as benevolent as we can by taking this information, bring it to the right ears, and then people can get the help that they need and the help that they have always been wishing for in our communities. So the task is right there. How would you use this word? You know, in
In a
contrast with,
sentence, yeah.
June 16, man, celebrating Youth Day, commemorating the youth of 1976. Talk to us, man. Breakfast show.
Yeah.
You know,
man.
Mo, Mina, when I think of benevolent
Yeah.
people, or how I've come across benevolence in, you know, ever since doing the Vooka Breakfast show, it will have to be, you know, with our movers and shakers. People like, oh, Abo Yeshua Moraga, you know, Abo Mam Nontos Haike, Susan, Ramekwa, who are putting into the youth. They are taking substance and putting it into the youth. They are building the youth through skills, through support, through care. And these are the kind of people we need. And when you speak of benevolence, this is what I envision, our movers and shakers. And of course, you know what? We are the movers and shakers of today, because we are on the streets of Soweto and like showcasing the people of Soweto and talking to them and bringing their opinions right to you.
Interesting, man. So, how would you use the word, man? It's benevolent.
Benevolence.
Yeah.
Wampula wena wampuna.
Benevolent.
Benevolence.
I mean, you need to, put in some violence
no.
in the word because,
I
violence.
always say, and I try to reiterate it day in, day out, that you need to rely on Muslims when it comes to the word of the day. And benevolence is quite an interesting one. But I try to, me in my own capacity,
Yeah.
I try to be a benevolent individual as much as I can. It actually happened about a week ago. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, I won't say the actual thing. But just in my personal capacity, I really strive to be a benevolent. I really try to be a benevolent person as much as I can. Be charitable, be kind, be giving. So yeah, it would be very interesting to find out how you would use the word benevolence.
Yeah.
As the word of the day on the 16th of June 2025. Just coming through on our YouTube.
About that, man, we still had to fix something technical, difficulties, but our technical teams are right there doing their things 100%. Shout out to Kat, shout out to Mr. B, man, doing them things right there. Without wasting any time, right here, I'm joined by and the motivation that we always need as a young people here, not only the struggles and the challenges. Who is very optimistic, not pessimistic towards their future and the future of this country, because as the word of Cyril Ramaphosa, that the future of this country is in good hands when looking at the youth of South Africa. Not every young person in South Africa is suffering. Not every young person in South Africa is suffering, right?
But like, the question is, all our
No, it's that adult that we were in conversation with a bit earlier on was saying that we should strive to become a society where we are able to enact a president as young as 40 years old.
Yeah.
Right, because the struggle that we're facing, or what we're facing, it might not be a struggle in someone else's view, is that we're finding that our politicians mostly are over the age of 50 in most cases, and the age for retirement is 60. So it's very obscure. It's quite, it obfuscates one. Do you see what I did there? See what I did there? But yeah, man, and he's saying that we should try and be a society that has young politicians, and so all of these things that we're facing might not necessarily be a thing like that. And the age thing for me, Mr. P, I don't know. It's a very interesting one. And it's one maybe that we should look into and sit down and actually delve a bit deeper into it, and have people. Yes.
So Bonaledi Pando, it's over 70.
Yeah.
I mean, with looking and studying economies all over the world, in Finland, they were speaking, I think it was Finland and Sweden, they spoke about the most proactive economy. What it needs is, a country that has gone over its struggles. Some of the European countries, man, they have gone all over their struggles. So for us, we still have about Tumamina, Tumamina, Mr. Ramaphosa. We still have people who want to get that bite, when they were in exile. Because now the economy is starting to perform. People want their part. Because remember, in each and every struggle, every patriot will want to get his reward. of their struggles and, the fight that they have put on. What we are facing now in South Africa is the inequality and the age gap, and the gap not only when it comes to age, not only when it comes to inequality, not only when it comes to finances also. Because in South Africa, when you look at our history, it's the one that influences, how we are like right now. If we had, elders who like, what, let's leave things to young people. But we have elders who, are in doubt of leaving this country into the hands of young people. They feel like it's going to be destroyed. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the narrative to push what they have been pushing for some years.
You know what springs to my mind when you say those things, and just sharing your thoughts. What comes to mind for me is, and it's just funny, and it's not funny like, it's just funny, haha, in the sense that I think the insinuation behind the politicians in our country, most of them being over the age of 50, is that thing, Mr. B, of you are seen but you are not heard.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? In the sense that sit there, we see you, you're part of us, but you're not going to have or share your thoughts with us. You're not going to give us what you think, your opinions, and everything else in between, right? So you are there with us, we see you, but how to one next? You'll only speak when you are spoken to. I think that's the insinuation and the implication behind the actions of some of our politicians. I'm not going to want to generalize and say all of them, but some of our politicians give off that energy and the insinuation and implication behind some of the things that they say and some of their actions, that why bana ba babu woman? Why are you wanting to share what you think?
Yeah.
What do you know? Ungwana, you can't tell us anything. We've been around for a long time. And it can't happen like that, man. It's a very narrow-minded way of approaching things, man. Yeah.
And when we speak about those things, man, it reminds me of a quote, from one of my favorite villains, in Avengers.
Who's that?
And that villain is Thanos. Right?
Okay.
So in today's age and the challenges that we face, Thanos said, just because you couldn't deal with your failure, here you are
coming
in this
back to
era,
me.
you're coming back
To me.
Right? And there are going to be people who will remember what was, and there are always going to be people who will always and be unable to accept what can be.
Yes, the possibilities.
The possibilities. So with our government right now, when it comes to the possibilities, they are still skeptical with giving young people to lead. I mean, in Parliament now, we're seeing young people fighting with old men, asking questions of like, what did you use the money for? We shouldn't be asking those questions. We should be asking about projects that have been in progress right now. We should be asking about a project. Maybe there is a school that is being built somewhere. We should be asking, how far is the school? Okay, we only left with installing gates, or building a wall. But we shouldn't be asking that the minister was spending hundreds of thousands in hotels in China, in Singapore. Those kind of things are not the things that we should be asking. We should be asking, Minister, can you please roll over or roll out a budget for young people to come and occupy the space to make sure that they keep empowered. And our economy is, well versed, and we are seeing the inclusive growth that they always speak about. Lately, I think it was Saturday, Paul Mashatile said they were celebrating 1 year of the GNU.
Oh, yes.
The GNU is turning
Yes.
1
Yeah,
year.
yes, Mo. Yes, I heard that over the news. Unity, yes, sir.
So right now, he's speaking about the possibilities. Now we are in a path whereby, there's no division amongst South Africans. We are seeing that parties are aligning, and parties are no longer fighting when it comes to what the citizens of South Africa need. And it's you, man. It's you who makes it possible. It's us, because we're the one who govern. We're the one who decide to put in power by voting. So if we practice those rights each and every time, we make sure that we lead the country into better hands and into a better future, man. Very, very interesting things, man. As we're walking right here, speaking of facilities, man,
Yeah, Mo.
you can see right here on the right of us, there is a stadium, right? There's a
Dobsonville Stadium, man.
Dobsonville Stadium.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Stadium that
Yes,
is
sir.
used for so many activities and known to be, owned by Vooka Swallows. They used to play the ABSA Premiership games right here. And one of the things about a community team is that it brings people, it unites people. If Dobsonville can have a team that plays, it means more ticket sales, and more ticket sales means the facilities being improved.
Yes, sir.
And when the facilities being improved, more people come in the province or the township. They're coming to explore and utilize any opportunity that they get, right? It's things like this when you look at the presidential stimulus project. When you look at the facilities that need to be maintained, there are a lot of good facilities right here. Right here, this is a netball court, and these gentlemen right here, they are, handball also. So if we can maintain these facilities, we are now bringing sports and recreation
To the community.
Yes, to the community,
And
reviving it.
these are some of the things that the man mentioned earlier.
The tennis court.
Yes, definitely,
yeah, man.
definitely.
That's for handball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh, that side.
I
Yes.
thought this is a tennis court.
It's not.
that wall.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
These are some of the things that the man Enoch earlier on was mentioning,
Yeah,
that if we can enact some of these facilities,
Yeah.
it keeps young people away from the not so great things that occupies their time now. And we know that young people are so distracted by dilo tsa ko strateng and have not much that they can engage in about tsa ko sekolong and things of that sort. And so with facilities such as the stadium and the handball court, and now what we're moving to the tennis court in Dobsonville, or what should be a tennis court rather, such facilities can play as great contributing factors and variables to engaging young people and keeping them away from they have such a bad influence and impact in our communities, And on our YouTube comment section, Tutuzile is coming through saying, love the positivity goddess there. She has such a unique presence, and love how she spoke on benevolence. Beautifully said. Shine, queen.
Shine.
So,
There's our
Tutuzile
queen there.
appreciating
Dilapidated.
is appreciating the one and only TC, and man, people are loving your presence.
Man, I love that.
Very cool stuff. So behind us, this is what should be a tennis court right here in Dobsonville, next to the Dobsonville Stadium, like Mokete said, that was once occupied by the famous Vooka Swallows. And now, of course, Vooka Swallows is no longer part of the top 16 teams in South Africa, the PSL. And but yeah, the stadium was once occupied and played as a home residence for the famous Vooka Swallows. And what we're seeing here, like Mo mentioned, is the dilapidation that has taken place of some of these facilities, and these places now act as drug dens. And people who smoke can hide themselves. Criminals can come here and hide themselves after doing bad things in our communities, and it's very sad. It's very sad. Sorry?
So much land.
Unused land.
Yes,
So much land,
yes, definitely.
Unused.
Now it's being used, like Kat is saying, as a driving school.
Ground where they take the tests.
Where you can test your car and stuff like that for driving purposes. But this should not be a thing. It should absolutely not be a thing. This is where young high school students, young primary school kids should come by right, should come here and spend some time on a day-to-day basis after school, spending time here, as Enoch said earlier on, as recreation or recreational spaces. Do you get what I'm trying to say, TC? And I don't know, man, maybe, you know, like the guy said, if the president is watching, hopefully he can get this message and he can improve some of these spaces.
So one initiative or thing that we did on Workers' Day, remember,
Yes,
with
sir.
Ubosa, was using taking these unused spaces in the locations, in the townships,
Yes, sir.
and actually transforming them into places of business and places of productivity for economic growth in
Yeah.
the townships. And I mean, this space, whether you're a young person, an aspiring entrepreneur, it could be used to encourage that. So right here, let's say, Musi, picture this, right? You turn this, you transform it into a container yard,
Oh,
where
yes.
there is a court where children can play. There are food businesses, activities, or places where a business park. You
Yeah.
can literally turn this whole space into a productive business park, and even place little recreational spaces
Yes,
for
sir.
these businesses, where in order to attract people, there's like a space, like, okay, people can come sit, and then there's businesses around that are operating in the space. So imagine the potential that is
Yes,
sitting here,
yeah.
unused, neglected, and abandoned, that we as the township youth can use to empower ourselves. We can use to help each other.
Yeah.
We can use to
Yeah.
improve each other's lives, to bring money back into the townships, to structure the township as an economic zone
Yeah.
for growth. These spaces are important for us to use as the youth. So I mean, now it's just sitting here unused. I was hearing as we were walking around. There are people who live right here in this building.
Yes,
here.
behind us, yeah.
And of course, there are also kids who in the stadium are playing soccer. So, I mean, on this youth day in the morning, many of the youth, or some of the youth, are gearing up to play soccer right here in the stadium that is no longer used for professional soccer. They've now transformed it into a place where kids who are interested in sports to play. But I mean, then just adjacent to it, look at this huge field place that is unused, and then there's still just like one little house here where, okay, there are people, caretakers that are
Yes.
still living here, but I know, they try to do their bit, of course, but I mean, as the municipality and as the government, there is more that can be done with the space. And
Definitely.
I love the fact that small political parties, when they are small, we look to make the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Like with that initiative on Workers' Day, with Mtombo Hall, with Bosa. And they were like, I'd give it to the people of the township so that they can make this into businesses, turn this into a productive space. And instead of it just laying here open and being used for criminal activities, also just being used to fill the problems we already have in the township. So if you're saying there are no opportunities in the township, what are you doing about these spaces that are
see,
places
definitely.
that opportunities can thrive and exist in? So it's those kind of things that as people who exist and live here, and that's why earlier on I said, free yourself from the mental slavery. Use what you have to do what you need to do. And
Emancipate yourself, man.
Emancipate
Yeah.
through that.
Emancipate yourself.
Because you are the one who, if you are living in the township, you are the one that understands the challenges and the pain points of people living in the township. And that is why I say, I think Ubaba earlier on was speaking about, like, even in our educational system, they are grooming people who are looking for jobs,
Yeah.
and not people who
Who
are able to
create
create
jobs.
jobs,
Yeah,
and are
definitely.
able to create their own wealth. So
Yeah.
you know, it's a mindset thing, and I like people like Abosaki Padi, who are trying to be who are transformational coaches.
So you see
And
the wind, ne? So if you expose the mic to the wind,
okay.
so flat the wind, flat much better.
Yes, so I mean, as the youth who are trying to, Sakipadi being one of the people who, is a transformational coach and who have been on the show, who speak on the mindset. You understand? If we can work on our minds, guys, I feel like so many things are possible for us. I mean, opportunity can exist. Struggle will always be there.
Definitely.
Obstacles are things we face every day in life. And I like the fact that Utsaki Padi speaks about being a student of life, because when you look at life as a person who is open-minded, who is free thinking, and you view challenges as opportunities, only then can you identify the opportunities that you might have otherwise missed when you're only focusing on the problem.
I think what we tend to be as individuals in society is that we are individuals of problems, and we don't strive to be problem solvers. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're very quick, especially, and it's unfortunate and it's sad, but especially in the black society, we're very quick to say, yeah, okay, see, hey, this, hey, that, but what are you doing? And you know, I'm a very individualistic thinker.
True.
This starts with the self, the mindsets that we have. It's a conversation actually I was having with some guys in my neighborhood. You need to be individual thinkers. Speak in the first person, firstly and initially, and stand on the words that you say. Even if a million people can come against you, say, "Ven, I said this."
Say it with my
Understand?
chest.
So, in identifying all of these problems and challenges that we face, in our communities, in and around our communities, what are you doing where now? Yes, we cry about education and lack of opportunity and all these things. The problem is that, like you say, obstacles and bumps in the road are always going to be there. But what are we doing as individuals now?
True.
What are you doing? There's so much land that is untapped here. So much land. We pass it on a day-to-day basis.
Dobsonville Broadcasting Studio.
I mean,
Right,
you
yeah,
know,
we could have a broadcasting
Musi
studio.
said that, on Workers' Day, and this stayed with me, that why can't we have those,
Factories.
no, I mean factories,
Yep.
but yeah, when you call MTN, why can't we
Call
have call
centers, yes.
center
Yeah.
hubs here in Dobsonville? Why is it that as black people in the black society in townships, that on a day-to-day basis, on a public holiday like this, people woke up to go to work somewhere in the
Yay,
north?
bakugibela amateksi,
Why
and that's what
can't
I've been
you,
seeing, like
why
I've
can
been-
it not be a
yeah.
thing that when you go to work, you walk 10 minutes away from your house? And it's a proper professional space that you work in.
As
You
I say,
understand?
it's a
And
mindset. It's
it
a
is,
mindset.
it is.
We,
It's about
as
shifting,
the
man.
Black South African youth, need to view ourselves in the elite. Like, you are a god yourself.
man.
You are of an image that is, you have the power instilled in you. So what are you doing with that power? You have, as much as, I was talking to a young man. He didn't want to be on camera, but he was saying, right now I'm at a Daisy in one half of Dobsonville.
Yeah.
And, we see the youth, they roaming around. Others, are going now, are going to go play soccer. Others are just roaming around, not sure how the day is going to look
Yes,
for them. Because
definitely,
now,
TC.
I'm not going
Yes.
to be able to just sit and, like, maybe, be a couch potato.
Yeah, and slouch.
Slouch,
yeah.
ultimately watching TV or whatever, or being on social media. He was saying, Guti, how can you be okay? Right now, the problem, you can say, no, but okay, and I'm expected, I must be online, I must be taking, online courses, I must be doing this. Okay, But then outside of Ugesi, yini ekhona. What else can you do outside of Ugesi? What other things are you able to create for yourself outside of Ugesi? So these are the kind of things, you know, that we must look at and that we must think about. And that is why, like, even things like failure, you must be able to view things like failure in a unique way, in the sense that you use it as a launchpad, as a catalyst for your growth.
Yeah, man. Very cool and interesting stuff. And all of this content is brought to you by the Blinko Network exclusively and only on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. So, shying slightly away from the conversation of youth, Skim Sam, a favorite drama telenovela for many South Africans, now has shifted to the time slot of 7:30 to 8 o'clock every weekday evening. It says that, you know, the drama is in trouble, right? In terms of what I'm assuming is viewership. But of course, we always say that the acting industry or the art industry is always facing its troubles. Skim Sam, a beloved soapie on SABC1, has been in the spotlight recently due to allegations of mismanagement of funds. Hey, very interesting stuff. The production has failed or has faced significant challenges, including a devastating fire on set that injured crew members. Despite these setbacks, the SABC has refuted claims that the show has been cancelled, stating that Skim Sam remains a successful pillar of SABC1's schedule. However, the financial difficulties and lack of renewal for the next season have raised concerns about the future of the show. The SABC has been under scrutiny for various issues, including financial mismanagement and dilapidated facilities. The broadcaster has struggled to generate enough revenue, even after receiving a 3.2 billion bailout from the government. The SABC's buildings are in dire need of an overhaul, and the corporation has faced challenges in maintaining its infrastructure. These issues have continued or contributed to the broader financial struggles of the SABC, impacting its ability to produce quality content.
Yeah, man, Musi. I mean, speaking of that, they've had 12 powerful episodes of twists and unforgettable drama. I mean, that no one saw coming. Viewers are kind of heartbroken. And some of them are thinking or suggesting a crowdfunding campaign to keep the show alive. I mean, right now, recently, we've seen storylines like Mapiti's cheating scandal, Rachel's drug chaos, Mahunga's going off the rail, and Lehasa's dark secrets. Now, it's all on pause, or there's trouble there to behind the scenes money drama.
Yeah.
So the SAB, a TV channel running at a loss. So only SABC1 made a profit of over 400 million of over 400 million rand. So 2 out of 3 SABC channels are not profitable.
Oh, wow.
With Metro FM still in the number 1 spot or in the making profits, followed by Ukhozi FM. But then those in Limpopo are not profitable at all.
Wow.
Thobela FM
Phala.
and Phala FM,
Yes.
Mungana Lonene are worse. And of course, you know, the latest figures on SABC losses are not just numbers. They are evidence of a broken system that continues to fail South African creators.
You see, the thing for me, and it's a conversation, brother. I mean, he's someone who's been in the broadcasting space for a number of years. He started out at Radio Veritas, a Catholic station, and then he moved on over to Jersey FM for a short stint there, for I think a year or two. I remember when I had the conversation with who's that guy, Mr. B?
Sandani.
Sandani.
Yes, Sandani,
Yes, because
yes.
Sandani is someone who also spent some time in the broadcasting space. And this was years ago in the early 2000s. And so as I'm having this conversation with him about broadcasting and radio and how there is not an equilibrium, where there's so much talent coming in, but there isn't enough space for all of us, right? You know, when we're in studio, when we can share our screen with our viewers and our listeners, there's something I'll share. And what it says is that South Africa is such a broken system, like you just mentioned, in the sense that our celebrities, our musicians, our actors, our broadcasters, our presenters, you know, they play so many roles. And my thing is, what about those who actually genuinely went to school and learned this craft? Because it's an art form. What we
That's
do
true. It's a skill.
it's a skill. It's a skill. And you can't be a singer, a presenter, a musician, a radio broadcaster, a dancer, a TikTok influencer, a Insta. You can't. There's no way you can play all those roles, because all of them need individual attention and authenticity and time that is spent in applying that skill, right? And so that's what we're facing in the space of South Africa. And the numbers don't lie. This is what we're facing now, where it's so saturated, like Nikki B said.
Yes.
The conversation I had with her a couple of weeks ago when we were out at the Morris
Isaacson
Isaacson Center for Music, right? And now, because people are spoiled for choice,
True.
unfortunately, it's now exposing the brokenness of the system now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Where 10 to 15 to 20 years ago, we didn't have, in 2005, we didn't have so many platforms that we had to, you know, at our advantage to the luxury of your bed. You can watch the Vooka Break for you, unscripted, unplanned, on the streets of Dobsonville. Well, understand, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you couldn't do this. You need to listen to SABC broadcasting stations, watch those SABC channels. But now, because people are spoiled for choice, exposed. What
I love that you're actually speaking about this now that people are spoiled
for choice,
because besides the obvious, besides the obvious corruption or mismanagement at SABC, there are other issues that we as a nation, you know, allow.
Okay.
So, I mean, the other issue is that we as a nation will not allow SABC to compete with the internet and multi-choice. Right? Because we as a people will gladly pay for those other services and let them play whatever
they
is
want.
Most profitable.
For them.
And then we then turn to the SABC and then give them so many demands on diversity and transformation and playing local content. But then we then turn around to the SABC and give them, but then we do not go on to tune in on these indigenous music shows or channels. And I mean, even I know that the SABC does a lot of like infotainment.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We do not. Then we like we're not interested in this. We switch off.
Yes.
So I mean, we then go to your YouTubes, of which, of course, that's where you catch us. And then
other streaming platforms. Yeah.
And then we in turn give them more power than our own broadcasting stations or broadcasting companies, who then we say should be telling proudly South African stories, as they were always meant to do.
But here's the thing, very funny. On Friday evening, I was sitting with my grandmother and we were watching SABC 2, and those stories of yesterday, one. You know, that used to play when growing up. But
yes.
Gonna give man Spooka.
Yeah.
Kenneth used to play a character. I forget his name, but Setswana programs were a thing in the 90s. They were a genuine thing. What happened? Why is it that across all TV stations, the SABC, delete 3, 1, 2, and 3, there's only about less than 5 programs that showcase in Tsonga or Venda? Why is it that when we think of a Tsonga or Venda program, what's the one thing that we think of? Muvango.
True.
That's the one thing. That's the only one.
I know that very much.
That's the only one. Why is it though? Why can we not have a it took a while for the Skim Sami established as a proper proper telenovela ya Sepedi,
True.
Setswana, Sesotho. It took a while. Understand? And it's, I mean, we have 11 official languages, man. Okay, maybe excluding English, because English is a worldwide spoken language, right? And is, I think, the first, if not the second most spoken language in the world. But in our own country, why is it that we only have Sevadilan as an Afrikaans program, and we need to jump to channel 144, channel 145, KQNet, and all those programs if we want to watch Afrikaans programs? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it really exposes it exposes the system for what it is, and now it also brings light to the mismanagement of funds.
Yeah.
Why is Metro FM still the only platform that is number one to this day? Are you saying that other SABC channels or stations don't give the same information?
Yeah.
Let's shy away maybe from the presenting skill
True.
of the people who work at the station, right? But just as a program, as a station in itself, why can we not have Lesedi FM or Motswedi FM? Because we share the same knowledge, the same information, we watch the same news, but it also brings light to the fact that the powers that be are the ones that are controlling what we consume.
True.
They are the ones who control what they want us to watch. I was very sad to find out that, what's that program? Yeah, Queen Mujaji. After the first season.
Yeah.
Right? I was so sad that it didn't do as well.
Well, yeah.
Like, I was so excited when I saw the trailer.
I mean,
exactly.
I know about stories like that, and not only from TV or creatives,
Yeah.
but it's by the storytelling of the community that we live in. We come to find out that, indigenously, we are a nation of storytellers.
But the thing is,
and of course, from you spoke about how the struggle was helped and propelled and catalyzed by music
art,
and the arts.
Yeah.
So I mean, so things like that you have to kind of think about when talking about this issue. And I know that SABC, right, as the prime broadcaster for these stories, they're not doing so well, but it is also in a sense of, I mean, we were told digital, right? People are going digital right now. Everybody's doing digital, and running on analog can be costly. So what initiatives or innovation are they coming up with that is that can be a national rollout? I mean, I know that they've tried. We spoke about them doing the moving from analog to digital. Manele came onto the show and spoke about that. But it also, I mean, a Centec, was it?
Yes.
Manele, that was given that contract. I know Uguti, only now recently, a neighbor of my mom's, as I was telling Umanele, when he came to speak on the show on that rollout, Uguti, she only got her thing installed like now in this year, right? But that rollout started when, Manele?
2 years ago, I think.
More than 10 years ago.
Of switching from.
Trying to switch over.
I mean,
from analog to digital.
But even it also maybe also begs the question, or one can argue, Mr. B, and say, how much effort was put into trying to educate people and push people to genuinely, guys, here are the pros and cons of switching from analog to digital. There are still households in South Africa, I can guarantee it, that still don't have satellite or dish. To this day, they still use that old SABC 1, 2, 3 and ETV fair. In my house, I know with my own grandmother, it took a while, man, for her to be comfortable in having a dish in the house. You know? And I'd always tell her, there's so many stories that you could on DSTV and multi-choice. More teaching and she's like, I get and stuff like that.
And BBC went digital years ago.
Definitely.
Right? That made broadcasting cheaper by 90%. So yes, the cost of digital broadcasting is 10% of the cost of broadcasting analog, right?
And only maximum temperature behind on the streets. Okay. Okay.
Question is, are you still watching Skim Sam start?
Okay. Here we go now. The question that TC and I are posing to you is that are you still someone who consumes Skim Sam? Are you someone who still relies on the SABC as a network, as a platform for your news, your soapies, your drama, your telenovelas? Are you someone who still consumes the radio platforms that the SABC has to offer? I mean, of course, we know that Metro FM is still quite a huge station. I mean, there are the Metro FM Awards, right? And I know in the Durban area, in the KZN province, Ukhozi FM is still one of the leading stations that side. And, but there's also platforms like Lesedi FM. I mean, I think a lot of South Africans visual, right? Individuals. They listen to Tatomotawung. To 9 o'clock, it's like a ritual.
I remember my mom doing that every Sunday.
Yeah, I know my grandmother is also someone who consumes Tuso quite a lot of times.
Religiously.
Very, 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 very. But of course, starting in January, now on our 83rd episode. The one and only Vooka Breakfast Show, man, is also something that you can also consume and share with your friends, your family, or your loved ones. Share it as far and as wide as you can, because sharing is caring, man. Don't keep it to yourself. But we'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and everything else in between with regards to the SABC and Skim Sam as a drama and a soapy that has established itself, and cemented itself as one of those soapies that we consume as the nation in South Africa, man.
Yeah, man. Tell a friend to tag a friend, because the Vooka Breakfast Show comes live and in person to you every weekday from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. And of course, we've been doing a special broadcast today for Youth Day, right here on the street of Dub Santon, engaging with the community, involving them in what we do. And right here, I would love you to drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation at hand that we've been having going. How do you think the SABC can overcome its financial challenges and improve the quality of its broadcasting? Let's hear those thoughts. Keep them coming. And of course, you can also send us a voice using the number 060-493-3226, because you know what, Mofona sizophendula.
Yeah, man. Lastly, Vooka Nations and the Vooka Youth, man. There's something that is going on right there at Northwestern University. But just to share something for you, did you know that the South African government places youth empowerment at the heart of national development? From skills development and entrepreneurship, funding to youth employment initiatives, government programs are designed to unlock opportunities and help young people thrive. These highlights, they include the NYDA support for youth-owned businesses, Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, free higher education for qualified students, youth-targeted public service internships, because when youth rise, the nation rises. So for you to get in contact or look out for opportunities, the website that you need to visit is www.nyda.gov.za. It's www.nyda.gov.za. And then another website that you can visit is www.sayouth.mobi. It's www.sayouth.mobi to access learning and working opportunities in your area, man. I'm hopeful that this will curb the unemployment rate that we have right here in our country and in our communities, and let us continue to become a thriving youth, man. A youth that has so much energy, so that we can change our situations right here. I mean, we want to come back right here where we are going to be standing, where facilities will be built.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing a lot of projects being rolled out by the government, of course, man. So looking forward to that. We just hope that this gets to the right years, man. From the Vooka Nation, from the Vooka team, we'll keep on working hard to make sure that this information gets to the right people,
the relevant people.
Relevant people.
Definitely,
Very,
definitely.
very interesting, man. Yeah.
Vukuzenzele, it's an
Vukuzenzele.
attitude. Vukuzenzele, it's an attitude. It's a mindset. And on Youth Day today, that is what we encourage here at the Vooka Breakfast Show. What are you doing for yourself? How are you empowering yourself, because everything starts with you. And of course, it's been me, UTC Gabazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and positivity dose of the day. Umamshengu omuhle indlovukazi yakwantu ngithi kunina bayete right there at home. Vooka Nation, power to the people, power to the youth. We are the future, and of course, as the future, we must make the future is now. Everything is about doing everything right now and starting now. So from now, trust and believe. We thrive and strive forward.
Yeah,
This is what we do on Agochaye, only and exclusively on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. Always spending some quality time with myself, the one and only MOOCEE Mr. My name is Musi Mr. and I've been so excited and happy to have been in your presence and in your company on this day, the 16th of June 2025. The time right about now is 10 minutes before the hour 11 o'clock. 10 to 11 in the morning, and we've been trying to give you great and authentic content on the streets of Dobsonton. This is right next to Zondi Hills, and just before you get to Provincial, on the other side of the grounds that are next to the Dobsonville Stadium is Zondi Hills, just before you get to Provincial Kloof. Do you get what I'm trying to say? This is what we bring you, man. Yeah. This is what we try to bring you. And I'm never alone. I'll never be alone. Always with the one and only maximum temperature, the son of Mother Nature. So, re to batla go berekisa generator. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Why is he? Because you're a Terminator. You know? So, yeah, man. So we always try to bring you great content. Hi, man. We try to keep you warm. I take such good care of you on a day-to-day basis between the hours of 7 and 10, only and exclusively on the Vooka Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, where we bring you your daily dose of positivity that is accompanied by an energetic start to your day, right? And God willing, we will see each other bright and early on a Tuesday tomorrow, same time, same place, where we'll be on our table of discussion, bringing you great and authentic content and with industry professionals, right, where we strive to have all-encompassing, compelling, and of course, thought-provoking conversations that are aimed at giving so much information and knowledge, and hopefully shifting your mindset in a positive way, like TC has been saying. I don't know, Mo, talk to me. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
Oh, man. I'm going to celebrate my friend's birthday, man.
Oh, yes, Arthur's birthday.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir.
ASM, man. That's
Okay.
what we do, man.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, what keep Amanda Bella Blue. Hey, woman gets to fat Havana. There's children watching Chief. It's a holiday. But I want to go high to share your thoughts, man. What are your plans for the rest of the day? I know after here, I'm rushing to a rehearsal, like I mentioned, the Fête de la Musique music festival that will be happening this coming Saturday. So I'm rushing to that after here. That's how I'm spending the 16th of June this year. And maybe, who knows, I can bring you behind the scenes content and see what happens in the world of Musi Mr. as a musician, man. Mr. Mo?
Yeah, man. Shout out, thank you so much, guys. Stay warm, stay safe. It's still winter, man.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. And we're going to be bringing you so much content that will be at the depth of your warmth right there at home. So, from me, man, I'm going to get my man, Max for maximum, whatever that you
Son
want.
of Mother Nature. It's called Chief. Talk to your mother. Talk to your mother. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Stay safe.
Father's Day to the fathers who did not get the Father's
Actually,
Day. Yeah.
TC, where's the father? We said bring pictures, Chief.
You want the father.
Bring the fathers, but we hope all of the fathers, all the men that are playing father figure roles in the lives of young children. You guys are appreciated, you guys are acknowledged, you guys are seen. I'm a father as well. I have 2 children, Chief. I'm a godfather. So happy belated Father's Day to me. I will. But we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Stay safe, stay cautious, stay warm. And God willing, we can spend some quality time bright and early, same time, same place. Cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what we do, man. It's a wrap.
Ah, ka 11.
Guys, how do I end the stream?
Promote your lifestyle.
You're not supposed to say.
Yeah, it's when after shootings like, hey, producer, healthy lifestyle, yeah. Sifuna makwini. Sifuna makwini.
Hey, it's fresh veggies day. You must eat my veggie.
Baba
man.
iveji lami kwini namhlanje. Veji lami kwini, especially sami kuzoba yiyo pumpkin. Ngifuna